That was like some good when you're on hold with the bank or the gas company music, you know?
But good music though.
Yeah.
That sounded like the Police.
Yeah. Oh, it did. That's right.
Every little thing she does is magic. That's what it sounded like. So yeah, great intro. I support that.
Yeah. I haven't made an intro. It is Friday, February 21. It's weird that February is only 2 days shorter than a normal month, and it feels 3 weeks shorter. February is always over in a blink of an eye. I don't understand it. 2025, 2 months are going to be done in a week. What is happening? What is happening?
Weird. Next thing you know, it'll be summer.
March already, guys. Oh my gosh, guys.
Summer. Get those sundresses out.
I got to get that summer body going. Come on.
That summer bod. Yeah, man. Next thing you know, kids they'll be out of school and it'll be summer vacation again. And then it'll be fall again. Then it'll be Christmas again. And then we'll be back here in February 2026 saying, man, 2 months in 2026 are going to be gone already.
Right. Oh, my goodness.
So fast.
When did time, and guys, this is the inaugural first episode of Datitude Season 2. We did Datitude last year a little bit, but I was doing so much comic book stuff and trying to figure out how to fit it in. And I realized doing these 1 hour live streams while I draw, I have the iPad right here hooked up to the computer. Those are fun to show you what I'm doing. But we want to talk about my favorite thing to talk to Jericho about: culture, life, being fathers, all that good stuff. We have a lot of good conversation. So on Fridays, we're going to be doing this for Big Man Comics Live, Datitude with Jericho Green and Gabe Eltaeb. And yeah, when did you notice time started flying by? To me, it was about 17 or 18. All of a sudden, and it's all of a sudden. I fucking hate it when people say all of the sudden. I cannot stand that.
When people get those things wrong.
It's all of a sudden, not all of the sudden. Fuck's sake. Anyway, when did you notice the years just faster, 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 faster? It was 17, 18 for me. I was like, wow, that was fast. And they just get faster.
Yeah, I would have to say it was in my 20s where you're just like, oh shit, I'm 25. Oh shit, I'm 28, 29. Oh shit, I'm 30. So I definitely say like the last half of my 20s, that's when you notice that shit just starts pew, pew, and it only goes faster. It's like you're going downhill. You're only going to go faster and faster and faster. And then, I'm going to be 45 this year, which is crazy to think. It's crazy to say.
Yeah. I'm going to be 47 this summer. So getting close to 50. That's crazy.
Here's a question for you. So
eggs and bacon with coffee. That's what she made me.
That's your question.
That's the answer.
It's still weird to me for my kids to call me dad. Like my son he's 9, my daughter's 13, and it's still like I'm somebody's dad, because as being someone's child, you remember how you viewed them, what you thought they were, what you thought they knew. And to be that for somebody is crazy. Of course, knowing what you really know as a parent and how it really is.
Right. I had that realization on my 33rd birthday. That really, really hit home for me. And on my 33rd birthday, I had already been a parent for 15 years at 33. But I was like, oh, this is the age my mom was when my dad and her got divorced. And at 33, I still felt like a kid, like I was still learning. And I was already a professional working at Warner Brothers and, highly achieving in my career. But it's like, even at 46, I still feel like, oh my God, I have so much to learn about life. And we do live in a youth culture, which I think is unfortunate in a way because it does arrest development for people, or at least retard it. How come when you call someone stupid, you call them retard, but then when you say it's slow, it's retard? It's kind of weird that you pronounce it slightly differently depending on the context.
Retard.
It retards the growth, the youth culture, where we're focused on being adolescents way too much. And but I remember being 33 and going, oh, and not being as mad at my parents or hurt or whatever, and kind of think about it in context of like, yeah, life it can be tough and messy and confusing and this and that. And I guess we got to give people the grace we would want given to us. But yeah, time flying by. I remember when I was like 17 to 18, that first year that I noticed like that was fast that year. I asked my grandmother about it, and she was 76 or 77 at the time. And she said, yeah, when she was about 17 or 18, she started noticing how fast it started going. And she said, and it never slows down, you know?
Yeah.
And
it's that, excuse me, it's one of those things they use in a movie to show time going by. They'll show a calendar, the pages is
right.
That when the years change.
I like when the calendar page flap, or I like when the newspaper spins right into the frame and tells you what the criminals did. Bank robbery, a heist, a rash of heists across the town. You know.
Yeah, bank robbery at 24th and Lexington, and the burglars are still on the loose. Yeah, those I like those, but it really is like that. It's cliche, but the time really does fly by fast. But remember, think of when you were a kid, or think of when you were in like high school. Maybe a senior in high school and you're just graduating. Think of how far away 2025 sounded.
Right? Doesn't it seem
like you have movies, Escape from LA, Demolition
the far-flung future of 1999.
Yeah.
Like laser beams and all this shit.
What is it? Back to the Future 2? It took place in 2017. I mean, that's years ago. It's almost a decade ago at this point. And to think 2025, that was like robots and flying cars, and
we are so much further from Back to the Future in 2025 than Back to the Future was from the 50s when he traveled back to the 50s.
Right?
Yeah.
Crazy. And living in 2025, there's still old cars on the road. Nothing's flying in the sky that wasn't flying, back then. Helicopters, airplanes. I mean, you got some drones up there now. But there's not like this entire highway system above our heads like we thought it would be, and how we thought the vehicles would look, and how we thought robots would be integrated into our society. And there's none of that. So how we view 2100, that's so far away. But when we get to 2100, are we going to be like, man, we thought it was going to be this, and there's still a 1972 whatever on the road.
That's the thing about the embarrassment of now versus the future. Like, you look at children in 1913 predicted what the year 2020 would be like, and it's all stupid and goofy, and they don't understand anything, because how could anyone? And I just think, oh God, what are the things that we fervently believe right now that we are so wrong about? In the old days, it's like, you need to give your baby 7-Up Cola. 7 out of 10 doctors recommend it's the healthiest soda for babies. Or smoked Chesterfields, they're good for your T-zone, or something like that. And it's like, ooh, they got that one wrong. There are ads showing a baby drinking 7-Up. I'm not even making that up. What are we doing right now that is so fucking wrong? We have no way of knowing. It's around the, what do they call it, philosophy, the Platonic fold of the it's not that you don't know, it's that you don't know you don't know. That's where it really is. So oof.
Well, there used to be ashtrays built into the countertops at nursing stations and hospitals. The doctor used to sit there smoking a cigarette, reading your test results and stuff. So we've come a long way, but who knows how far away we still are until, we get to the future. But if you told somebody, like you mentioned, kids in 1913, could somebody in 1913 even wrap their head around 2025?
That we're talking on electronic screens live to each other?
Yeah, and we can talk. I remember when FaceTime was in its infancy, and you would see somebody walking around talking to somebody on the phone, and you're like, that's so weird. You're looking at them while you're talking to them? Like, I remember that's so foreign. And now that's everything.
Right. I remember being 7 or 8 years old and wishing that we could have FaceTime, because it would be like Star Wars, which was my obsession in the early 80s, but I knew we would never have it. And now nobody wants to FaceTime. Don't fucking FaceTime me. Just text me.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we don't give a shit about it. We have it, and we don't even want
FaceTime me. Just text me. I'll get back to you.
And you could tell your phone to text. You don't even have to punch the letters in if you don't want to.
You know who I am now? For like the last year, and I used to make fun of it and I didn't understand it. I am I'm voice to text guy. I don't touch the keyboard on my iPad, my computer, or my phone. All those scripts I write, all the comic books I'm writing, I talk that into this mic right here. On page 1, blah, 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 blah. I don't even type anymore. I just talk to the computer the whole time. It's weird. But what I don't do is use my speakerphone in public. Who are these people?
I hate that.
Who are these people?
No, you're on the first.
Now, hold on.
I can't. You're in a camp.
Hold on. I'm going to have to ask you, because you are the African-American representative here.
Oh, boy.
What's up with the speakerphones and your people? What's going on? Let's just be honest.
No. You can't pin that on us. I've seen people of all different fucking colors doing that bullshit, and it is.
But if you had to imagine
ridiculous.
it in your head, what would be the first race you would imagine doing it?
Mexican Arab. That's what I would.
No, how dare you?
That's exactly what I would. First one to pop into my head. I can't stand that shit. But even the talk text, that was weird. I remember hearing my wife do that and being like, it's so weird to hear somebody say blah, 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 period, exclamation point, comma. It was just weird to hear that. And now it's everything. Remember when people used to have the earpieces in like this and you hear them talking, this is a little mic right here, and you hear somebody talking and you turn around like, oh, I thought you were talking to me, and they're talking on their phone. And now that's just fucking how it is.
Remember the Bluetooth headsets that were like big rectangles going down to the jawbone? And it's really nerdy. We used to have a game, Bluetooth or Crazy is a game I would play with my kids. Like someone's walking around talking to themselves like they're either on a Bluetooth or they're a nut job.
Or they're nuts or both. Yeah, it's a trip.
Oh, look at the mob seat. He's backing me up. Speakerphone usage in public is directly related to pigmentation.
That's wrong.
I would love to see like a bar graph, and it was like the amount of melanin you have to the amount of speakerphone.
Yeah, show me the statistics on that. I want a link.
Yeah, but the white people, you could say the amount of bringing your fucking dog everywhere is related to the lack of melanin you have.
Yeah, or putting your dog in a shopping cart.
Don't bring your dog into the fucking grocery store. My food is there that I'm buying, and your filthy dog is smelling and licking the food.
Yeah, if you're not blind, if you're not really blind, don't bring animals into.
Remember the dog thing? Store. The animal thing got out of control like 10 years ago. There were service animals everywhere, and finally the airlines put a stop to it. Like emotional comfort. Leave the damn dog at home. Knock it off.
Yeah, leave that stupid mutt at home. It doesn't want to be 35,000 feet up in the air with its ears popping either. Leave that stupid thing at home. I'd sat next to a girl who had an emotional support dog. It was a pug that was sitting on her lap. I was like, what the fuck is that dog? It's just sitting there, fucking breathing. What is it doing for you having that animal put his butthole on your lap? What does that do?
For 2 hours.
Dude, its butthole is on her jeans. It's like on her lap. There's no person you love that much that you would let them sit their naked butthole on your jeans. That's
not
disgusting.
One. Not a one.
Not a one. That's weird. So yeah, that's those are in the same category as people who wear neck braces. I don't trust you. You're lying. It's a scam, right? People who wear neck braces.
Someone going into court with a neck brace.
You're lying.
Larry Parker got me $7.8 million.
And as soon as the camera goes off, you tear the Velcro on that thing and you fucking toss it in the back of your car.
They rip it off and they punt it, a corner coffin kick, 48 yards.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. You have a neck brace, you're a liar. Show me a neck brace and I'll show you a damn liar. That's just funny. I don't know. This is one of those things we believe, right?
Yeah. So the people of color, including brown people like me, stop it with the speakerphone in public, and white people, stop bringing your dogs in every fucking business on earth.
Right now. Let's all make a pledge today.
And I speak up too. My wife's like, stop. But I'll see someone come in the restaurant with their dog. I go, yeah, your dog belongs here. And they never say anything. It's
gross, man. And they'll have them in the shopping cart with nothing underneath them. Number one, it's in the shopping cart. That's a problem. But you have nothing under that thing's gross asshole. And then you put the shopping cart back, and then somebody comes and puts their food in there, and then they grab it and touch their face. Now your dog's asshole is on somebody's face. That's disgusting.
Also,
what's
kissing dogs.
What happened? Huh?
How do you kiss why do people kiss the dog? The dog licks its own butthole. You saw.
Dude, tears it up all day. You're at work all day. That thing is going to town on its
like a buffet.
Genitals. Yeah. like it has cancer and there's chemo in there. That thing's going to town on its genitals and its butthole. And then here you come, and he's like, oh
baby, kisses. Like, I always tell people you should just lick your dog's ass and cut out the middleman.
Yeah, instead of getting your love and affection from that end, go to the other end and get it from there. Because you're just,
why make the dog lick it and then lick you? Cut out the middleman and just do it yourself if you're gonna be disgusting.
It's like doing a keg stand. Don't use a cup. Just put your mouth right on the spout.
There you go.
And chug
Remember
that bad boy.
In elementary school, the kid that would put their mouth on the drinking fountain while you're waiting.
You can't do that. Come on.
What are you doing?
Dude, and what we would say to each other if they were taking too long, because the kids
save
always
some for the fish.
Save some for the whales. See, that's what I mean. Gabe. How do you know that and I know that? And we didn't grow up anywhere near each other.
No.
And yet we all said, save some for the whales or the fish. Save some for somebody.
Yeah.
Fucking explain that to me right now.
You think there's a person right now, they're a grown adult, they put their mouth on the fountain while they're on the speakerphone and they brought their dog into a nice restaurant. All at once. They're doing all of these.
Yes. And
they're wearing a fucking neck brace.
And we know they're lying. That person needs to be held down, citizen's arrest, and they need to be taken away and studied and then locked away so they can't terrorize society anymore. Something needs to be done. Here's another one. My son, my son's into riddles now.
Oh,
so
riddle me this, father.
Yeah. So he tells me yesterday, he goes, all right, Dad. So you have a plane and it crashes and half the plane's on the American border.
Female pilot. I know this one.
Dad, let me finish. So, so half here, half there. Where do you bury the survivors? So I gave him a couple seconds so he would think, oh, he's not going to get this one. Then I said, you can't bury survivors. Dad, how did you know that? And I said, son, I did that. I ran home and told my parents, like, I thought they never heard it before. And they probably did that too. It's just one of those things that's been around forever. But he was like, how did you know that?
Ask your son if he knows the riddle of steel.
I don't know that one. But it's a trip how those things just make their way around the country. Do they make their way around the world? Are there kids in other countries saying save some for the whales?
I don't think so. I'm sure they have their own idioms that are similar, but I don't think they're identical because there's cultural context. So the more related the culture is to yours, I'm sure like in Canada, they have a lot of ours. But then if you're over in, Shanghai, it's very different, but it's still the same concept, but it's just the way they say it,
But you think maybe in the UK, they have
save some for the whales, love.
Ain't it? Yeah, it just doesn't sound as cool.
If you was in an aeroplane and it crashed, where would you bury the survivors?
Where would you bury the survivors? Like, I'm not answering. I don't like the
can't bury a survivor. Still alive.
What? What if it crashed on a Tuesday?
Oh my goodness.
British people, get it together, man.
Yeah. What a great age. Your son is 8 or 9, right?
He's 9. He just turned 9 a few weeks ago. And yeah, man, it's great. We're getting ready to start spring football. He's, a psychopath. All he wants to do is wrestle, and he's silly and loud. He smells. He goes, Dad, this is for you. And he jumps in the air and farts yesterday. That's where we're at. And I understand him. I get him. My 13-year-old daughter.
Ew, your son
might as well be speaking a foreign language. I don't know. But him, yeah, man, this is prime time. This is, he just fell off a fence and scraped his face the other day. Ooh. So, fell in the wood chips face first.
When we started talking at the beginning of the show, we talked about time flying by, and it flies by for yourself, and that's crazy and weird, but it's you. But watching your little ones, you're seeing it now, middle school, late elementary school. Isn't it sad? And it just starts, you're going to be at those high school graduations like that, dude. You're going to be there.
My son, his favorite thing to do about the last 45 minutes before he goes to bed is he likes to get in bed with my wife and I and watch Cops. He thinks it's hilarious. But Dad, is that guy on drugs? Why is he acting like that? But I asked
why is everyone on Cops either 100 pounds overweight or 100 pounds underweight? What's going on Cops?
They can't get it right, man. They can't get it right. And they think that these cops are stupid and they've never, this is their first vehicle stop. They think that these cops don't know what's going on, that they can't see that they're grinding their jaw like this and their eyes are huge. So it's sad. And my 9-year-old is picking these things apart on the TV screen. It's bad. But I asked my wife when he went to bed, I was like, how many more of these do we have? How many more times is he going to want to come hang out and be with us and, hang out with his parents? There's a finite amount of these.
you'll do it for the last time and you won't know it was the last one. You know, be that last tuck in, pray for them, read them a story, good night. There'll just be a last one, and it won't have a ceremony to let you know that was the last one. You know, big baby, my granddaughter, she lives with us, and she's over 2 now, and I bought her an easel with a chalk side and a magnet dry erase side, and she's crazy drawing and markers and all this stuff, and she's using little sentences now for the first time, and it's like, yeah, it's really changing. And we go for rides sometime to help her go to sleep or just, you know, to help her go play. And she sits in the back of my pickup and my wife sits in the back with her, you know, to play with her instead of sitting in the front and talking to me. And I said, you know, eventually that'll stop. You know, eventually it ends and the time it just goes. So I think all of this talking about time going by and kids and all that, you have to realize, like, don't waste it. Don't give it up, because there'll always be a last time and you won't know. I always tell you about that family friend who we called Grandpa Rocky. It's a great guy, Navy veteran, and he was like 93 when he died 2 years ago. But we all watched the Army-Navy football game in December together, me and him and my father-in-law, who's a Navy man, and my brother-in-law's father-in-law, who's a Navy man. San Diego's just filled with Navy guys. And it was so great. And Navy won on the last play, and all these old guys were so happy and like, we should do this every year. It was the first time we all watched it together. It was my idea because I love that game. And Grandpa Rocky died before the next Army-Navy game the next year. And I've always thought about it before that happened, that like when people ruin Thanksgiving or they ruin Christmas, like, dude, you're going to regret that, because how many of these do you get? Let's say your dad is 75. How many more Christmases are you going to get? Statistically, 77 is the average age of death. Good luck. God willing, they'll live to, you know, be 90, 100, and you'll get many more. But a minute from now isn't guaranteed for anyone. And I really do think the normal mundane days and the special days, the holidays and birthdays, you got to do everything you can do not to miss those things, because there will just be a last one and you won't know it was the last one, you know? So.
Yeah, that's already happened with my daughter. You know, obviously at 13, we're not tucking her in, and she's totally, and you know what, those last ones that you were just talking about, I'm glad that we don't know. I'm glad that they just happen.
Oh, yeah.
And because, I mean, could you imagine this is the last time I'm going to tuck my kid in, or the last time, you know, that'd be a bummer. But it naturally happened with her. She's now, you know, totally, all she wants to do is be on the phone with her friends, and we have to drag her out. Come out here and be with your family. Come eat dinner with us. She'll grab her plate. We have in the garage, we have a couple sectionals set up and the TV out there. She'll grab her plate and go to the garage. Come in here and hang out with your family. Oh, I just saw you guys. So yeah, we're totally past that. So, and you guys with Big Baby, you're kind of in the beginning, you know, of that, in the beginning of her wanting to be with you guys and around you guys and be around her mom and everything. And she's not on the other side to, you know, the adolescent phase of things. So yeah, man, it sucks to realize that the amount of times you have of these moments of them, your kids wanting to be with you, and it's natural to be more independent, want to move on to the next phase, start hanging out with your friends and stuff like that. So yeah, man, it's kind of shitty to realize.
It's funny though. I don't know if it happens for everyone, but it's come around now. My kids are adults. You know, my daughter's going to be 28 in a few weeks. My son's 26. And they love hanging out with us again. You know, they went through the young high school where they never want to see you. They're always lost with their friends. But, you know, I'll watch, you know, UFC. You know, I go to Las Vegas with my son to watch the big fights. We go to the arena there and go to the fights, and we do stuff together, and we go out to eat. And it's fun to be friends with your adult children now that you're not their parent anymore, like managing their lives in that way. I still give them advice. I still tell them, you know, you shouldn't do that. But, hey, you're an adult. Here's my view. I have a very strong opinion about this, but, you know, no one was telling me what to do at 26. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But this is what can happen if you do this, if you do that, you know, and it's fun to see them. They're off the ground now. Their wings worked. I got them off the ground. So mission accomplished, you know. So, yeah, it's you're headed there. You know, in 10 years, both your kids will be adults, you know. So,
yeah, my son, he still holds my hand. You know, we get out of the truck and we're walking somewhere. We went to the barbershop. Yeah, we went to the barbershop yesterday, and he held my hand when we walked in, and man, it's a trip. It's a trip.
It's going. And we were talking about this the other night on Double Impact, that I feel sorry for the people that don't have kids, have chosen not to have kids and all that. And whatever, make your own choices. You're an adult. I'm not condemning them. I feel sorry for them because there's no deeper love, I don't think, on earth. I mean, it's the most pure love where you're just giving. You're not looking to get anything from your kids. You're not, if I do this, then they'll do that. Like, it's not. It's just a chance to love people fully and do everything you can for them, And I really think it is the meaning of why we're here, love and family, and I don't know, people that have been, I feel sorry for the younger generation. Like you're a very old millennial. You're more Gen X. Your culture is mine, but numerically you're millennial, but you're not. But I do feel sorry for the young people that they can't afford homes because the fucking economy of the last 40 years has just gotten worse with the wages versus inflation. And then they don't get married. They don't have kids because they think, oh, well, you can't get married and have kids if it's financially tough. And I would just tell them that's not true. It would suck. It would be hard. But believe me, on balance, even if you're struggling financially if you have a good wife or a good husband and you have kids, you'll be happier, even if you're broke, dude. I was broke at the beginning of my marriage. I'm talking like you pay the bills, you have $38 in your bank account until you get paid next week. Like that kind of life, like no money. You know what I mean? And that was the first few years, just broke. We were working hard and we're doing fantastic now, but we were happy, It was me, the wife, the 2 kids. We didn't have a lot of money, but we made the most of it. And we didn't take vacations, but we would drive from Colorado to California and visit family. That was our version of a vacation. Come and stay with family and go to the beach and stuff like that. And you find a way to make the most of it. And you know that you're growing and you're going to get there. You're going to get your money, your wealth. You're going to get your home if you just stick to the plan. You just keep working hard. But I don't blame them for being discouraged. They've been sold that you don't matter. You don't have a culture. You don't come from anything important. America sucks. Your family sucks. Your religion, your dad, everything sucks. Be ashamed of your past and there's no future. That's what they've been told. And it isn't true. And I just feel sorry for them because they're getting older. The millennials are like 40 now, some of them. And they haven't gotten married. They don't own homes. They haven't done anything because they've been discouraged. It's like, hey, that guy you're going to play with, Jericho, all he does is cheat and win. Wouldn't you just say, well, then I'm not going to play? And that's what they've been told. And I want to encourage them like, no, it's fucking hard as hell, but you can still do it. So I don't know. What do you think of that? Do you feel sorry for these same people that have sort of given up and they're just kind of treading water?
Yeah, I feel bad. And it's also the people who are their parents and their older family members who are supposed to tell them, what kind of example was set for them? Who was telling them this shit? Were there people in their lives that they saw, had failed marriages and their shit was fucked up? Or were they just telling them that it's like that? Because why? It can't just be society telling you that you can't do those things.
I think it was everywhere. I think it has to be society, the media. I think it was the people they knew. I think it was their own parents were divorced many times. I think it was everywhere was this horrible message of, hey, don't bother,
Yeah, I've talked to people, young people who were, no, I'm not even going to get married. Half of marriages end in divorce anyway. I'm like, but that's no reason for you not to get married. That's not you. But if they come from divorce or everybody around them is divorced, then yeah, my daughter, she has a bunch of friends, and my son too. Bunch of friends that are divorced, like, oh, can so-and-so come spend the night? No, they can't. It's their dad's weekend or some shit like that. So
you know what's interesting? Speaking of your daughter having friends that are divorced, it reminded me, my son was on scholarship. We only paid a tiny bit of money, but he went to the most expensive private school in San Diego because he had excellent grades and he was a great football player. And the football coach, when he was in 8th grade, said, you should get your son into this private school. He's great at football. They take kids that are good at it, and he has great grades. So I applied my son and my daughter didn't get it because she didn't have the grades like my son. And he went to the most, like, literal billionaires go to this high school. Not kidding. Okay. This is like, San Diego's a rich city. This is the most expensive private school in San Diego. All of his friends, super wealthy, but really nice kids. And what I realized when I saw my son and daughter in high school, they were going to 2 different high schools. She went to a public school. He went to the private. All of his friends married the parents. My daughter, all of her friends divorced. And I don't kind of know what that means, but I kind of do know what that means. You see the people that are more poor, more struggling, and then they have broken homes. And then you see the people that are wealthy and successful. And I was like, they stayed married, no matter how hard marriage is. And I'm not shitting on people who got divorced. I did not spend one day in your marriage. I cannot judge you. But I'm just saying that was very interesting to me to see that not one, I think of all the kids in my son's high school in his grade, I think he said one family was divorced, And my daughter was like, everyone. They were all her girlfriends. They just had a mom, and the dad was, you know, he's fucking living in Florida or whatever it was, you know. So I do, because they talk about privilege, right? You got white privilege, you got this privilege. And I heard Ben Shapiro, who I'm not too, you know, he's kind of hit or miss with me, some of his stuff. But I did hear him say once that the real privilege is married, family privilege. Having a married, intact family, I think, is the most important thing for the well-being of children. You know, and if you can do it, if you can fight for your marriage and make it work, you know, you should do everything you can. I've been married 28 and a half years. You think anyone that's married has wanted to be married every day of their marriage, right?
Yeah.
So, but again, I don't judge anyone. It's not my life. It's not my marriage. And it takes two to dance, right? Two to tango. And if the other person doesn't want to be married to you, there's really nothing you can do about it. So I'm not judging any of you that got divorced. I'm just saying it was an interesting thing I noticed about the well-off, wealthy people. They were married. The grandparents were married. And it was like, oh, okay, there's a pattern here of the families working together. You know what I mean? Staying together to work together. So, and I know, I'll let you go. I know I'm talking a ton. I wouldn't be what I am without my wife. And it's a team effort. You know my wife. You love how my wife treats me and supports me. You've raved about that multiple times, how you see how my wife operates behind the scenes for Mr. Big Man Comics, how much support she is. And I think that's so important to support each other. But what do you think of that divorced and more poverty, broken homes, obviously, and then the married and then way more success? I think there's a correlation.
Yeah, you have a partner, not only a partner in building whatever you're building financially, a career, a business, or whatever, but you have a partner in giving you the peace of mind to do that and helping you do that. Maybe your wife is literally right there with you, creating this product, coming up with ideas, or maybe she's doing that and also helping run the household to give you more time and the peace of mind to do that, to know that you have somebody supporting you, somebody who loves you. You know, a lot of those things are intangible that your wife brings to you. And if you have a partner in that, it's almost like you're meant to struggle in the beginning. So when you build that, you can enjoy it more. You know, you can enjoy it more when it's built instead of, you know, having it given to you or something like that. But when you build something with somebody, it strengthens your bond with them as well, because you've been through something.
Here's the thing. You're a military man and you went to boot camp and all that, right? One of the boot camp serves many purposes, and they're all psychological, basically, and some to get you into shape so you could run and do all the physical stuff. But suffering with your brothers, right, in the boot camp, it bonds you like nothing else, right? Because we all went through the shit together. And now, Jericho, I love, trust, and respect you because you paid for this, right? The boot camp, you paid. I watched you pay, and I know how it felt because I paid. So when I get married at 18, my wife is 20, we're flat broke. She's a waitress. I make $8 an hour at Toys R Us. That's what we were doing when we got married. We had nothing. I'm telling you, we'd pay bills. We'd have $12 in the bank, $30 in the bank, nothing. We suffered like that, but we just kept grinding, kept working, got our degrees, started our business. Like, we've reached heights that two Mexicans who have a kid in their teens, this is not typically how it turns out for them, but we fucking fought and God blessed us. And now that we suffered like that together, it's like unbreakable, the bond. And I do think I would give the advice to young people: going to college, getting a career, making all your money and establishing yourself, and then getting married. It's doing it backwards, because then you're going to come into the marriage. This is mine. And then the wife is like, that's mine. And like, no, Big Man Comics is ours. Because while I'm drawing comics and doing all this stuff, you know, 100 hours a week, my wife is taking care of this, that, and the other. And she's been doing that for a quarter century, supporting my career as an artist, financially helping support, and then obviously with the kids and the home and all that stuff, and then just moral support for me and comfort and all that. So because we built it together, it's ours, and that bonds you. It's a shared experience of misery together as human beings and coming out the other side victorious. Whereas if you get married at 35, 40 years old, after you've done all that, it's not yours. You know, that's not yours together. It's yours singularly. It's like, oh, that's Jericho's accomplishment, and that's Susie's accomplishment, to make up. Don't get mad, Jericho's wife. I'm just making up a name.
You fucked up.
Who is Susie? You tell me right now.
I'll do the next,
bottom line, I recommend to people get married young and suffer and be poor, and then have victory together, and your bond is like, you know, just diamonds. So.
Yeah, that's totally true. My wife, my wife, she doesn't do what I do, but she helps me do it. She keeps me stocked with, thank you cards and stuff. People that send things, we should do this and do that. What about this? What about that? She helps me stay on top of things so I can just be the talent, so to speak. And when you have that partner, man, it's everything. And you're never, guys, we get caught up in, I want it to be like this and I want it to be like that. And I want to have this when I propose and I want to have that and have established this. Don't worry about that shit. If you found a good woman, lock her down. That's number one. Lock her down, marry her, and then everything else. Then you'll have help in doing all these things you want to do. Instead of shouldering all the responsibility yourself, you'll have help. You'll have a cheerleader who's not only helping you, but telling you, you can do it. This is great. Keep it going. Being that coach, that coach in your corner. So yeah, you got a good woman. Don't worry about all that other shit. Lock it down first. Get something on her finger, because you can always upgrade. Once you've built something and established yourself, hey, get rid of that ring. I got you this. And you can always upgrade.
I've
get
done
something
that.
on that woman's finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and build it together.
My wife will show you her wedding ring, her 10-year ring, her 20-year ring, and these things they keep increasing in size and price. So
that's great.
Heather asked a question that I know very well. Do you think it's a cultural thing? Hispanic women seem to be good wives. 100%. First of all, it's a religious thing. We're both Christians, and we try. We're imperfect. We're sinners, but we try to live that with conviction, to make God the center of our lives together. Okay, we're not perfect. I'm not better than you. I'm not scolding you. You dirty sinners. I'm not that. That chases people away from God. You shouldn't do that. That said, the Hispanic women are, I don't know if you noticed, very feminine. And it's in their looks, their beauty, the sexuality, but also in the mentality. The man is the man. The woman is the woman. And it's not this stupid American Western feminist shit where I'm oppressing her and iron fist tyrant. Mm-hmm. Like if we're at a family gathering, I don't serve my own plate. That's absurd. And if my wife's mom and sisters and the aunties, if they see me like serving my own food, they're going to look at it like, what are you doing? Serve him his food. I get up and my wife's coffee's ready, breakfast is ready, makes me lunch, makes me dinner. Like, yes, she takes care of me because I'm working like 80, 100 hours a week, drawing and writing. I'm doing my part. So yeah, you could feed me. That's fine. But she listens to me. I don't have to check with my wife. Like I make decisions. Now, do I boss around and I'm some weird tyrant or something like that? No, that's fucking dumb. I'm not here to torture you like my wife. I don't own you. You're not a dog. I'm not here to torture you, but I'm going to make the decisions because it's my responsibility, not because I want to be bossy. Believe me, I'd love to have someone handle everything for me and just sit back and put my feet up and eat delicious food all day. But I'm a father. I'm a husband. So, okay, I got to make the call. It's not fair for me to put it on her. She's not built for that. Women aren't built for that. They don't want that, and they don't need it, and it isn't right to do that to them. And men that do that to women, they're being horrible. They're being weak. You have to have the guts. You have to have the balls to make the decisions and lead. Not boss, lead. Lead the way. Lead emotionally, lead mentally, lead spiritually, lead financially, lead, protect, provide. But I would say, yeah, in the Hispanic, the Mexican culture, all that, they're very feminine. They want to be good wives. They want to be taken care of. And I think that the Western liberal white woman, they're miserable because they're resisting that. That's nature. It is the woman's nature to submit and follow. But women aren't stupid. They don't want to submit and follow to bad, weak, stupid, incompetent men. They want to submit to a good man that's going to make their life better. So it's the yin and the yang, man. It's that give and take. It's the, you know what I mean? It's the chocolate and the peanut butter. One does one does the other, and it complements, and it works very well. It's almost like there was a grand design to this whole thing. But Latinas, to the guys in the audience, come with my highest recommendation.
Yeah, check my Yelp review, 5 stars. My wife is not Hispanic, but if you have a good mother to set a good example for you on how to be a mother and be a wife and and what comes with that, and you see that every day, then that will create a woman who's going to do the same thing. So moms, you got a lot of responsibility. Dads, you got a lot of responsibility because your kids are watching and you're shaping the children that are going to grow up to be adults that other people are going to, deal with.
Yeah, you're telling your daughter, this is how men can treat you, how I treat my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling my son, treat women like this, the way I treat their mom in front of them, and vice versa. Because the worst thing, Heather, that a woman can be is a problem. Someone like men want a challenge. No, I fucking don't. Not from you. You're my backup. You're my partner. You're my right hand. You're my number one. I don't need you to be against me. I don't need you to insult me, question me, belittle me, nag me. No. You're my cheerleader. And it's just like football. I'm the football player, the warrior on the field, getting battered and hit and bloody, but still winning victory. And you're beautiful and cheering me on and encouraging me. You're giving me respite. You're giving me comfort. I come to the sideline. Let's get some Gatorade, rub my shoulders, patch up the bloody little wound. I'll go back out there and fight. Like, yes, that's how that's supposed to be. The woman is supposed to be your helpmate, your support, all that stuff. And it isn't a low, diminished role. It's complementary. It's just as equal as the man. It's just different.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge.
We can't do without women. Look at what men are without women. You want to see a culture with like very little feminine input? Go to my dad's countries, right? The Middle East, just savage brutality because they don't have the softness of the woman tempering it, dude. So,
yeah, women are look at men who have women who are a challenge. They'll tell you how awful it is. Or if you had friends, I had a friend, or I should say an acquaintance, whose wife always would put him down in front of people. Like we weren't even there. Oh man, she would talk down to this fool, calling names, talk shit to him, send him to the store multiple times, all this crazy shit. And pretty soon I lost respect for him. I couldn't fuck with him because, dude, how are you gonna sit there and like Gabe said, it's not about bossing or being tyrannical, but there will be respect, and it goes both ways. But you're damn sure in my house, you are not going to be talking down to me like I'm a dog that just shit on the carpet. Like it would be bad. There's just no fucking way. And then you throw your kids into the mix. You throw a daughter in there. Then you're showing your daughter that she has to be a tyrannical bitch, and you're showing your son that he has to be a weak punk with his legs tucked between his legs. I believe as a parent, as a father, you're showing your son what to be and you're showing your daughter what to pick. And if you guys have a fucked up relationship and that's void of affection, kids need to see their parents being affectionate, hugging, kissing. My son, he'll get between me and my wife. All right, that's enough. And he'll wiggle his way in between both of us.
He doesn't even want any younger siblings. That's competition. So he's trying to put a stop to any hanky-panky.
He's like,
all right, gross. You go to your corner. You go to your corner like a boxing referee.
Yeah, calm down. Throws a bucket of cold water on us. But your kids need to see that.
On his chest and says, "Okay, walk towards me." All right.
All right, you're good.
Can you fight? Okay.
But they need to see that. There's so many things that our children get from us that are nonverbal. But that strong family unit is everything because there's this YouTube channel. It's called The Soft White Underbelly.
I've seen a few specials on that. Those are long-form interviews with really interesting people.
People who are like in the porn industry, people who survive things, cartel members, people who survive human trafficking, all these people from these crazy different walks of life. And some of them ended up getting in that criminal element and being violent and perpetrating crimes on other people and hurting other people. But when you hear them tell their story, it goes back to their childhood. So their parents are fucked up. You're creating a fucked up person. And then they go out in the world and they perpetrate that on other people. So it's not just, what's going on in your home doesn't stay there. Those are the people you create. Those are the people that are going to go out in the world. So that's why it's so important for you to raise good people so they don't end up being a psycho and going out doing some crazy shit. And the stories that these people tell about their childhood is unbelievable. It'll knock you off your feet. Things that they endured as children, man. It's demonic.
It really is. Yeah. I don't understand it. Like I found out I was going to be a father and I had in November, I believe, after I graduated high school a few months before in June. And I was like, okay, we'll get married. I'll take care of it. I'll figure it out. And I was excited, and I was never scared. I was in the delivery room, and I love being a dad. I love kids. I love being a grandfather. It's like being a dad again because I'm still young. I'm 46, and I love it. And we were talking on Double Impact Wednesday night about people who don't like kids and kids don't belong on airplanes. Fuck off, you people that think that. And you're bad people. Just so you know, you're bad people if you don't like kids. And I'm never backing down from that. And I don't understand people that neglect and hurt and abuse kids. And I know what they deserve. And I'm not going to say it because I'm on YouTube and I want to keep my account. But you hear stories in the news. I heard a story here in San Diego, 6-month or 6-day-old baby killed by the father. I was in the car with my wife getting gas or something. I'm just like, it's just so mind-numbingly unbelievable that you can't even get mad because it's like your brain is just like, that's not true. It's fake news. But it's true, but like you can't accept it. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
And how could you do anything other than love children? They're the best people in the world. It's like I gave Big Baby, we gave her a sticker the other day, and she just couldn't stop talking about this sticker. And it was like, how good of a human being you have to be like overjoyed at a sticker? Do you know how pure you are? And I don't know I don't know. Family's everything, man. We're not perfect. We hurt each other. We mess things up. But as long as you're making a good faith effort every day, you're doing the right thing. But I can't stress it enough. I just can't. And I think people whose lives, basically all of our problems stem from our parents. They hurt us. They abandoned us, or they this, or they that. And here's the ugly truth. If you're an adult and you want to be an adult, you have to face this. You got to fix it. You cannot wait for the apology, them to make it right, this, that, and the other. They made the mess, and justice would make you think, well, then they have to fix it. Well, fucking try that, and you will waste decades, maybe the rest of your life, being bitter and angry and perhaps out of control because my dad did this, or dude, it happened to all of us, and it sucks, and it isn't right, and nobody should hurt kids. But you have to clean it up. It's horrible. It's an injustice, but I've had to do with it in my life. Some things from my childhood that were super painful. I mean, divorced, never seeing my dad much growing up. And I've had to be like, okay, it's their mess, but I have to clean it. And I'm so much more well-adjusted for it. And I just give it to God and do what I need to do to fix it myself and not ask them you need to apologize and you need to do this. And I'm so mad at you and I want my pound of flesh. And like, that's a fool's errand and it won't work. You're wasting your time. So.
Yeah, and it would be nice, if they did. But that's usually probably not the case. But you do have to, it sucks, part of being an adult. You have to, I know they did it to you. I know you didn't ask for it. They brought you here. I know, but the responsibility is now on you. And I think about that sometimes. On paper, my wife and I, we did everything right. We're doing everything right. We were married. Then we had children, a few years later, my daughter. We provide a good home for them. They have a clean home. They have food and clothing and clean clothes and a nice, peaceful home life. We don't argue or anything. There's no abuse in our home.
You don't suplex your wife when the dinner's cold?
I mean, I kind of do it even if she doesn't do anything wrong to send a message. You know what I mean? It could happen at any time.
Just to keep her in line.
Yeah, keep them on their toes, man. But, it's a good life. It's a good home life. If you sent your child to live in my home, you would have nothing to worry about. This is the home you would want your child to grow up in. So right. I wonder, what kind of damage am I going to do? Doing it right, or doing what I believe is right and doing it to the best of my ability. What kind of damage am I still going to do? Because you can make things too easy. Things can be too hard, and things can be too easy. But you try to find a healthy medium. But I wonder what kind of damage am I going to do to them, or are they going to come out on the other side? Because you want to hear your kids when they're grown, like, kind of, how did I do? Give me a report card. How did I do? I want to,
well, I would say
make sure that I raised you right.
You're going to hurt their feelings. You're going to do things wrong as a parent. But if you're raising them right and the overall message is love and support and encouragement and discipline and respect and honor and all those things, they will be able to recover on their own from what you get wrong because you'll give them those tools too. So I knew a guy, he thought his middle name was Joe. Into his 40s, he put it on his diploma, his home loan, his marriage license, everything. He gets his birth certificate to renew some paperwork or whatever, and it's the wrong name. His parents had told him the wrong name. He has to go to court, fill out paperwork, change records, run ads in the paper to declare that he has a new name, changing it to the name he always used. So he changed his name to his name. That's a screw up of his parents that they don't even tell him the correct name. That's kind of important information that your parents should share with you. And that's their screw up. Who had to fix it? He had to fix it. He had to go to court. He had to spend money. He had to go to the newspaper. He had to change records. So this is what I'm talking about. When the parents hurt you and they could traumatize you, they could hurt you so fucking bad. Once you're an adult, too bad. You got to fix it yourself. You got to find the strength, and you can do it. You got to find the strength to just fix it yourself. Like, okay, there's no time machine. There's no going back to make dad come to the football game. Like, it's gone. Like, it's gone. Don't wallow. Like, you can, instead of always feeling our feelings and like doing what our stupid feelings tell us, step out of yourself and observe yourself having the feeling. You know what I mean? Be an observer of your feelings instead of a feeler of your feelings, and go, okay, I feel this way. Why? Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to get drunk? Or why do I want to yell at that person? Or why do I, and then you're like, oh, it's because I'm anxious about this and that and the other. And then I probably shouldn't do what my feelings are saying. So that's an exercise I try to do a lot, is observe myself having feelings, and just like, okay, just like a scientist observing it as data, instead of like, oh, I gotta go yell at that person because I'm so mad. And like, dude, that's going to make things worse. Don't do that. And so yeah, try to observe your feelings. And it's our parents hurt us badly, and they don't mean to most of the time. But you do have to clean it up yourself as an adult. So none of my just says it sounds like having to, is that part of the Joe Dirt movie? I never saw that.
Joe Dirt is hilarious.
Damn, that sucks with the wrong name. Tari always says, geez, why would they do that? Why would you do anything wrong to your kids? I mean, you're gonna mess up, you know. He got a new name after 40 years, but it wasn't a new name. It was the name he had used his whole life that he thought was his real name. He just legally changed it to that name because legally on the birth certificate, it was a different name. So, and when he talked to the people at the court, they told him it was not that uncommon for people to have the wrong middle name and stuff like that.
Damn.
So, yeah.
You know, sometimes I want to tell my kids, like, do you know how good you have it? Like, do you know what, you know, how my parents were, how my dad was in this situation? Like, but, you know, going to my kids' practices and their games and all that. My dad never did any of that stuff.
Right.
The, you know, the rough housing and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things my dad didn't do that I do for my kids subconsciously. Is that why I do it? Or is it because that's just the type of person that I am? I don't know.
I think it's both. I think we desire what we missed as kids. You know, unfortunately, I think there is a bit of compensating for our own childhoods with our kids. That has to be. That's human nature, man. You know, because my dad, not at one football game, practice, nothing. I didn't miss one from age 5 till my son graduated high school. I remember one day driving from my son's high school to my daughter's high school to go to her field hockey game for half the game, go to his football game for half the game. Like, I was doing, like, I am not going to miss these games. You know what I mean? Like, trying to get to everything always. And I think part of that is you want to be there. You love them. You want to support it. It's exciting to watch them win. And part of it is like, well, no one was there for me. And I know how that felt. You know, that felt like shit. And I don't want to do that to somebody, you know? So, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think being aware of how it hurt you, it's smart to not do that to someone else. You know, what more intimate way could you understand that pain than having it happen to you? I could tell it to you, or you could have it happen. One of those is really going to let you know.
But that's the crazy part, is sometimes you don't know what hurt you or what didn't. Because as a kid, seeing my dad not in the stands, my mom would go, but not seeing my dad there, like, consciously I wasn't like, this hurts my feelings, or I wish he was here. You know, so it's like, it's almost like you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. The unknown. You don't know that you don't know it.
Yeah.
You know, as we were talking about earlier. Look at this. It's Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs. I guess it is. Her parents didn't tell me the I knew as dad wasn't my birth dad until I was older. I barely got to know my biological father, and now he's passed. Oh, that is so sad. That's crazy.
Damn.
I read some statistical data, but who knows what's fake news and what's real, that it's between 20 and 40. So we'll split the difference, say 30% of children are not their father's biological children, and they think they are. I'm not talking about adopted kids or divorced kids that know, hey, that's not my bio dad. I'm talking about your kids are in your house, Jericho, and they're not yours. Not you, but you know what I mean. upwards of over 20%. That's currently the case when they do the DNA testing. I think in France and Spain, DNA testing for paternity is illegal because the liberal feminist governments is like, it is bad for the well-being of the child. You know, forget the man who's being robbed and told he's a father and supporting these people that are not his, and the freaking wife is a whore cheating on him. But
what a mind fuck.
Could you imagine? I don't even want to say it out loud. Could you imagine finding out your kids are not yours? How you would feel?
Just the emotional investment. As far as you know, they are. You put everything into them, and now they're not. So now what do you do with all those feelings?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
But what do you do with all those feelings now? What do you do with all the feelings and the emotions and the relationship you built with them? Now what do you do? Because they're not yours and you know it. So are you going to continue to do that? You're going to continue to be their dad knowing that you're not, but you're all they know. So you're going to keep doing it for them? Or are you going to say, fuck them and let them deal with it?
Your son is 9 and you have a bond unbelievable. You're going to walk out of his life?
But now you have the burden of knowledge. You know that he's not yours.
It's wrong. The Bible says you cannot hate people. You can hate evil. Like you can hate sin, but you shouldn't hate people. How could you not hate your wife if you found that out? That would be some real forgiveness.
Man.
That'd be, look at how bad we are. Look at our face. How mad we are thinking about this.
the deception.
Oh, that would be the worst thing in my life.
To know that she knew that this whole time. Dude, and again, what do you do with these feelings? You love these children. More than love them.
Like nothing else. Like you die for them. Like you love them like nothing else.
Without question. Without question. It's more than love.
You'd still love them, but it would just hurt. And then I wouldn't want them to know. You know, I really wouldn't want them to know that, you know. But they got to know. They got to know the truth.
Man. Yeah, because you want them to have their real father. Who the fuck is he?
Yeah.
You know, you want them to have the opportunity for that relationship too. Everybody should know where they come from. But man.
How would you even stay married? Like any of it. I saw like a clip went viral, like TikTok, Instagram, you know, those short little minute clips. And it was a guy, he was an older guy in like his 70s. He was a lawyer. And they went to like paternity thing. And he had adult sons that were like 50, you know, and he's like 75. And they weren't his. The wife cheated on him with the mailman 55 years ago or whatever. He said, I knew those 2 idiots weren't my sons because they're so fucking dumb or whatever.
Thank God. But dude, you've put all those years into it, not even to mention the money, but then knowing what happens, the statistics for kids that come from single parent homes. Now, what do? Do you break up the family or do you stay together for the kids? Because you don't want them to be thrown into that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't even know. It's the worst. It's the worst. It's the worst. And just think, according to the stuff I've read online, which could just be bullshit because there's so much bullshit online, but it looked like real. It was like University of Queensland and University that's like real genetic studies. Over 20% of dudes are getting cucked and they don't know it. Historically, only 20% of men reproduced if you check DNA of skeletons and remains. That means, what does that mean? That all the women are just having sex with the same dudes and then all the villagers don't know that this one guy's going around the village and they're all his kids? Is that what that would mean? Because it was 80% of men didn't reproduce historically. Or does that mean they just never got married and they got killed in warfare? I don't know what it means, but it ain't good.
Well, it was tough living back then. You know, you start going back in 500-year chunks. Boy, it was tough. You know, it was tough back then. So, yeah, it could have been that many men were dying in war, disease, infection, animals, you know, because there were a lot more of everything roaming around back then. They probably saw bears every day and wolves every day and wherever the hell they were every day, saw predators and stuff. So, yeah, I'm sure, dude, that was probably your number one cause of death as a man was just
the animal falling into a ravine and hitting your head on a boulder.
Yeah, something that we would get medevaced out for. Right. You know, yeah, you're done.
That lady, I think she was lost in Joshua Tree or something. They pick her up on that orange gurney on the helicopter. They rescued her from the way, and then the gurney starts getting rotational force. They didn't stabilize it, and pretty soon it's just that's worse than being rescued.
It's like, probably puking her brains out. Yeah, well, man, that's
fast enough and long enough, it could kill her, right?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. you know, being just regular everyday shit could kill you back then. So yeah, there probably were 80% of men that died for some shit. And then you got to throw in battle too.
Right. Yeah, many men dying in warfare.
Hard living.
Getting diarrhea or something, getting sick. Here it is right here. This lady got saved out in the wilderness. I mean, this is outside of, this is in Phoenix. Okay, I thought it was out here. But
so it was hot too.
And
no.
And there must be some sort of stabilizer cable mechanism. So the rotational force of the helicopter somehow gets transferred to, isn't this the worst? This is so bad. And look at that.
No, you gotta
look at that.
You gotta sit that down. You gotta sit that down, dude.
Terrible.
You gotta.
That's so terrible. That is so terrible.
Let that kind of scrape on the ground and slow down.
If it spins fast enough, long enough, that'll kill someone.
Yeah, it'll like put all the blood into the corner of the back of your head. You're fucking out of here.
Heather says she won a bunch of money for that. You would hope so. You would hope so. I hope she owns that helicopter now.
Oh, dude. She probably had fucking vertigo after that. That's crazy. Dang, she got paid though. Those people on that plane, that one that flipped over, the lady flight, they're getting, what do they call it? Like good faith payments. They're getting 30 grand a piece from Endeavor Air.
I love that Endeavor Air bragged about having no men on their flight crew.
They said unmanned. They call them unmanned.
Unmanned, yeah.
Flying unmanned.
Thank God nobody died in that, and nobody was seriously injured, right? They just got bumps and bruises.
There were some people who were pretty seriously injured, but they're going to survive.
Because if people died, we could not make fun of it being DEI and all that, because it would be gross and ghoulish to make fun of that thing where people were fucking destroyed by an airplane crash. But since nobody died, and nobody's like crippled or anything like that or dismembered, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing making the requirement to fly be a woman? How about be good at flying? Well, that's the first one. Then you can have a vagina afterwards if you're good at flying.
Yeah. But how come we haven't seen a picture of her? I was reading articles.
It leaked, but it could be a lie, right? Because it's Twitter. But someone was saying it's so-and-so. She was 26.
Yeah, this young, I've seen that. But how come there's been no official release or information about the pilot?
This don't follow the narrative.
Exactly. It's just like if somebody gets gunned down and you don't see a picture of the shooter, that's because it wasn't a gun-toting white man.
Yeah.
You know?
They called out the Ann Coulter rule because she coined that saying, the longer they don't release the identity of the shooter, the odds of it being a white man go down precipitously.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned the grape stomping woman. It's been a long time since we've been
her. Man, I have
Let's see how she's doing.
Okay, stop. I can't breathe. Stop. No. Oh,
boy,
dear.
I think she's actually hurt.
No, I think she is.
Yeah, she's hurt. She took a hard fall.
Oh no. I'm doing everything I can not to laugh.
Dude, that was real life. That woman was struggling right there. Struggling. I don't know why she kept making, I don't think she was even in control. Like her body was just making her make those.
We all know how that feels from getting the wind knocked out of us at like age 9 playing street football. You're like, oh, I want my mom.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Stop it. Stop it. There's no one doing it to you.
No one's going to do anything.
Stop it. Damn. Dude, she took that all in her sternum. She went sternum first to the ground. Poor lady. And she was trying to be. Yeah, she was trying to cheat. You should have been fucking around. Dang it.
That's what they call the instant karma, you know?
Legend has it, she still hasn't caught her breath. She's still going, stop it, I can't breathe. Yeah, we know you can't breathe. We know that. Oh, she got fucked up so bad. Stop it, I can't breathe.
My goodness. Well, we've gone 10 minutes past noon. So yeah, that's Big Man Comics Datitude Fridays with special guest Jericho Green. We're going to be doing this every Friday, just talking about being fathers, mostly talking about culture, trying to figure things out, trying to make it work. And you know, we don't know everything, but we're learning by being men, by being fathers, by being husbands, by being parents. We're not husbands together. We have our own wives. It's not that kind of
stuff. We have our own separate wives. Thank you very much.
But absolutely. But yeah, we'll be doing this every Friday from 11 to noon. And then the other days of the week, I will be live showing off illustrating books. I'll show you real quick what I got done this morning, and then we'll get out of here unless Jericho has anything else. Let me bring that up real quick. Hold on. I gotta fix this iPad thing here. This is the Unstoppable Tyrus, page 46. I'll show it to you real quick. Let me plug it in. Is it plugged in? Okay. Yeah, these are the inks I was working on this morning. Let me move myself out of the way. Should have been ready for this, Gabe. What are you doing? Hold on. Okay, move me over here. So yeah, this is the page I was working on this morning. Really fun stuff. And it's a 120-page graphic novel. I'll be done with it. I think I'll be done drawing this in May sometime. We'll get it out summer and all that. But here's the page I was doing yesterday. Let's see. So yeah, we have 45 pages complete. I'll be done with page 46 after lunch sometime. Look at this. The bad guys are in their lab with their sci-fi equipment. Look how great. I love drawing those feathers. It's a lot of detail. And I was drawing all those feathers. I thought maybe this character should have just been a rat instead of like a falcon like this. Would have been easier to draw. But if you love mutants, you love bad guys, you love crazy evil science, we're having a blast here. Yes, the goat is evil because goats are evil. But it's been a lot of fun. There was another
goats are evil.
They are. They're weird. They're like reverse sheep. I love the negative space I used here on this one too. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff. The Unstoppable Tyrus. Then of course we also have Empyrean, Earth Illuminated. We have that one coming too. It's a sci-fi. That one is almost done. And we're having a blast on that. So go to bigmancomics.com and check all that stuff out. We have Dean Cain, All-American Lawman, Volume 1. First printings are still in stock. And bring Jericho back up. You got anything for the audience? Where can they find you online? What do you got going on?
Google, Bing, Apps, Jeeves, whatever your search engine is, Jericho Green. On X, it's @green_Jericho. On Instagram, it's @JGTalk2. Find me, follow me, love me.
Okay. Oh, real quick. Enrico's been trying to address me in the chat. I thought he was talking to someone else. He's saying hate the sin and not the sin is a quote from Gandhi, not the Bible. Right, sure, but the concept of hatred is wrong. You're not supposed to hate human beings. That's wrong. You can hate evil, though. The Bible does actually command you to hate evil. That is in the Bible. The Bible doesn't say hate the sin and don't hate the sinner. I agree with you. That's Gandhi. But there's literally a verse in the Bible that tells you to hate sin. But you're not. But there's also a verse in the Bible that says love your neighbor as yourself, right? Love your fellow man as yourself. So there's love people, there's hate sin. It's in there. Two different verses, but it is in there. I'm not misquoting the concepts of the Bible. You do not hate people. That is always wrong. Hatred is evil. Hatred of sin is holy. You're supposed to hate evil, but you're not supposed to hate people. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Lady Gravemaster for $5. I wish I could stay. Have to get ready for tonight, but love your energy and I'm in awe of your talent. Wow, Lady Gravemaster, thank you so much. Well, we can't stay either. We're supposed to be done around noon. And another great dad I know is Matthew Marsden. I'll try and get him for next week. I was talking to him this morning, but he had a phone meeting right now. And then our buddy Dean. The guys I like to associate with are like father guys. I love guys that love being dads and love all this because it's such an important thing. So we'll bring on other guests too. It'll usually just be the two of us. Okay, but yeah, Daditude on Fridays. Have a lot of fun talking about being dads and our journey. Right? It's our journey.
Our journey and our truth. It's our truth.
All right, guys. All the links in the description, and follow me on X. I'm Big Man Comics. Everywhere else, I'm Gabe Eltaeb. You see how to spell it right there. My last name's a little tricky, so look closely how to spell that. He's Jericho Green, JG Talk 2 on Instagram, and then just Jericho Green and Green's House on YouTube, and Green_Jericho on X, Twitter. Right? Anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.